What's up, everyone? This is Nate doing another one of these P2K peaks, except this time I'm not in the land of enchantment, I'm actually in the Grand Canyon State. That's right, I decided to take this Friday, drive out to Arizona and hike up Escudilla Mountain, which is a 2,000 foot prominence peak, not too far over the Arizona-New Mexico border. But so far, I came via the town of Springerville, and it was beautiful. This whole area is beautiful. I'm actually, even the parts I had to drive through New Mexico, I've never been to El Malpais, and I got to drive through El Malpais to get here. Saw the La Ventana Arch. Just amazing scenery. It's already pretty awe-inspiring despite the burn scar. It's also interesting because there's a lot of weird sounding birds and noises. It's a pretty spooky area. I thought, given Arizona, much more populous state than New Mexico, and this can't be that much of a drive from Phoenix and Tucson, that area. Thought there'd be a lot more people here, but I'm the only one at the trailhead. So what led me to do this mountain was sort of fortuitous sequence of events that I don't think my Bosque Peak video is definitely not aired yet, but it'll probably air before this one. In that video, I talk about how basically I hiked Bosque Peak because I was dropping my wife and son off to the airport to go visit family. Well, I have to pick them up, and it's my Friday off. So what I decided to do was hike Alegres Mountain in southwestern New Mexico near the town of Pie Town. But I thought, maybe I'll pair this with a different mountain. Do one on Friday, one on Saturday, because they don't get in until very late. And I was looking in the area, and there's just not many mountains close to Alegres Mountain that are on the P2K list, with the exception of maybe Mount Taylor, which I'm saving that to do with my family because it's a pretty straightforward hike. So I look at the Arizona P2K list, see what might be close over the border, and sure enough, this one, it has to be like 10 miles from the border. It is very close, but it's a very beautiful peak. A lot of misinformation around it that when I was doing my research, there were a lot of inconsistent things I was reading, but if nothing else, it's very known for its nature, its wildlife, and I don't know if it was the last grizzly in Arizona or just a grizzly, but I think it wasn't until like very late that the last grizzly in this area was killed. And I don't think it was the 70s, but it might have been like the 50s. And as you saw with my first shot, this is a Mexican gray wolf lobo reintroduction area. Given that I'm a lobo, I don't think it'll bother me. And I'm sure black bears are around here. Hear those weird birds in the background. But this is a super cool area. It's in the White Mountains area of Arizona, which the tallest peak, which I think I was getting some glimpses of, and I'm sure as we get higher up, we'll see more, is Baldy Peak. But I'm gonna put the camera down to cross these logs. One of the most significant things about this peak is it was burnt really badly by a 2011 fire, and the downfall is crazy just on the trail. And the funny thing was, I was reading some reports for this peak that I think were maybe September 2021, and they all said, oh, this trail has recently been cleared, so the hiking is great on the trail. And this all must just be from those 7 months or whatever of not being cleared, which is crazy. And this fire happened over 11 years ago, and it causes this much downfall to this day. So not fun. It's pretty manageable here on the trail. I would say it's 90% good hiking with the odd log you have to cross every 200 feet or so. But I would mention something about misinformation about this peak. One thing that people seem to get wrong about this peak is that they think the peak ends at the end of the trail. I read a few trip reports about this peak. People saying, oh, I made it to the third tallest mountain in Arizona. And then you read the trip report and it's pretty obvious they never made it past the lookout tower, which is not the true summit. The true summit is like another mile, half a mile north, untrailed. So this is going to be nice compared to that. And a little bit more misinformation in that statement too. It's not really the third tallest peak in Arizona. I mean, even the Forest Service kind of repeats that, which is not true by my estimation. I was reading that, I think that statistic comes from a Wikipedia article that lists the top tallest mountains in Arizona. It has a prominence cutoff 500 meters, which is 1,500 feet. It's a lot for cutoff for this area. Like maybe that applies in the Himalayas, but in Arizona, New Mexico, that's a pretty big cutoff. So in reality, I think Peak Bagger, which it only has a prominence cutoff of 280 feet when you're measuring, when you're ranking elevation peaks in different states. And by Peak Bagger standards, this is like the 9th tallest peak in Arizona. So still pretty impressive. Still in the top 10 list for a state that's not really known for its mountains. Maybe closer to Phoenix and stuff, but I should say high elevation mountains. So I'm excited for the trail to start opening up a little bit, and hopefully that'll mean fewer logs to walk over. It's starting to open up a little bit already. Super, super beautiful. And the funny thing is, despite the deadfall, I think it's shaping up to be a pretty easy hike in terms of elevation gain and mileage. I mean, it's only probably 7.5 miles round trip. And I'm already at 10,000 feet after hiking for like 20 minutes. So I think this will be a nice one. Just beautiful scenery. Also just found out a friend of mine gave birth. So happy birthday, Cora. Welcome to the planet. This is what your first day on Earth looks like in Eastern Arizona. And I have to say, it's nice. Yeah, again, I can't get enough of this view. I think where I was just aiming was Mount Baldy. But look at that. I'm probably gonna camp at that flat spot out there because I think a forest road kind of does a loop around there. And obviously with all these down trees, wouldn't mind not being close to dead trees. But it is just stunning. Really beautiful. And the only thing that's really holding me back right now, because I don't see, there's not a lot of down trees anymore. The only thing that's holding me back right now is I tweaked my neck last weekend, kind of re-aggravated it Wednesday. Of course it hurts, but nothing I can't power through. We are actually only about 400 vertical feet from the summit. And I know that there's a little bit of undulation that happens on the way to the true summit, but nevertheless, I cannot complain about the amount of work I've had to do up to this point. Well, I summited Profanity Ridge, went out of my way to do it. Certainly not something I'd do again. It's lots of deadfall. Unfortunately, I think I probably will be basically doing it again by the time I get to Escudilla Mountain. You can see a lookout dead ahead. That's where we're heading, coming across here to the right. See the trail out there? That's where we're headed. There's still some snow on the ground, even though I would say that this is like really the first truly warm summit I've done in a long time. It's really temperate out right now. I mean, it's probably like 10:45 Arizona time right now, and I'd say it's like, I don't know, it's got to be 60 degrees. It's really, really nice actually. If anything, I'm actually a little hot because I'm wearing thick boots because I anticipated deadfall and snow. I'm wearing long pants because I anticipated deadfall and spiny plants, and I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt because I don't want to get sunburned. So all that combines to make me actually a little toasty, but it's pretty nice. Stop, cool down, and it feels extremely comfortable. course, you can just see the literal deadfall forest. It's very sad. I mean, definitely there's positives and negatives. The positive is that it actually probably affords better views to the surrounding areas because there's not trees in the way. The negative, of course, is this place probably would have been extremely beautiful, or I should say more extremely beautiful with a live forest. But, you know, for whatever reason, I'm not going to speculate because it could be any number of reasons, or if not multiple reasons. Forest fires in Southwest, just, or really the entire Mountain West, have just gotten out of control. So you can see we're getting closer and closer to the tower. I think we're almost there. This is really my first experience truly hiking in Arizona. And of course, it's not the most famous areas. It's not the Grand Canyon, but I really dig it. It is cool. Now, if I have my directions right, I think we're sort of like looking down the state line right now, where things to the east, I mean, it might even be further this way. Things, sorry, to the west, to the right from what you're looking at are Arizona, and tracking left, it's New Mexico. I think that might be a P2K, Brushy Mountain, Burro Peak. I cannot remember, but see, it looks like there's a forest fire out there. Hopefully it's a prescribed burn, because it has a lot of signs saying low fire danger, and kind of stink if they think it's low fire danger and there's still out of control forest fires. But like I said, it could just be a prescribed burn. I don't really know the happenings of the forest down in this area. Well, we've made it to the lookout tower. You can see they put a fence around it, keep people from getting to the tower. Now, it does look like there's a pretty easy way in, yeah, as long as you're not really fat. But even I'm alone up here, I'm sure they have good reason not to want you to climb the tower. It's probably structurally unstable. Yeah, I'll be that weenie. But the view, awesome. I'm gonna come up here. Looks like I get a little bit of a better vantage point. So this is looking east into New Mexico, basically where I came from. I could see this peak all the way in New Mexico, and you'd see in the center right there, it's my goal for tomorrow. Sorry, center right here. It's my goal for tomorrow, Lakers Mountain. Pretty cool looking peak. I'm really excited to do it. See, again, I theorize this is all New Mexico, I think. And then this is probably all Arizona. I'll get a better view of that other side, though we've seen it a lot. You can see that fire in the distance, and you can actually see the smoke kind of settling. You can maybe see it center of the screen. Again, hope that's a prescribed burn. But just stunning scenery. I think that's Mount Taylor way out there. You probably can't see it because it is way far away. So then here's the view south into Arizona, southern Arizona. And you know, the Gila, I think, does kind of like stretch into the mountains, the Mohoyan Mountains or whatever they're called, do stretch into Arizona. So just kind of like one range, even though the Gila kind of only applies to the area in New Mexico. You can see Profanity Ridge right there. There's that little bowl I hiked in. There's a flat area where I'm hoping to camp. Here's the road I drove in on. Halsey Lake, I think is what that is in the center. And there's the reservoir I passed on the way here. Like I said, I think that out there is Baldy Mount, or Mount Baldy, but I don't know for sure. Out there in the distance, I don't know if you could see it, there's another pretty tall peak that, I mean, unfortunately, I don't really know that much about Arizona. So I cannot tell you what that is, but I will have to find out. Oh, well, I guess I can tell you when I edit the video. Let's check out the view on the north side. So I'm having trouble getting good views of the north side just because there's so many, I guess these are probably young aspens or something, but that's the actual summit. And seeing it now, like, I don't know how you could stand here and think that you're on the highest point of the mountain. There's definitely the true summit over there, which again, I'm really not looking forward to traversing. I think it's just going to be like, Profanity Ridge again. But you know, it's I think 12:45 New Mexico time, about 11:45 Arizona time. So I think I'm gonna stop, eat some lunch, drink some water, and then make the grueling push over to the true Escudilla summit. Okay, we're off to the summit proper after that brief lunch and water break. It's starting to, wind is picking up a little bit. I can hear it breezing through the fire tower, but it's not too windy where I am right now. I'm expecting this to be a pretty miserable half mile or so over to the true Escudilla Mountain summit. By the way, Escudilla, Spanish for bowl, which, as you've probably seen in other clips at the beginning of this video, it is very bowl shaped, and not going to film much on the way there because I got these weird Final Destination visions of me, you know, taking a step and getting stuck on the log and my body weight taking me forward, and all of a sudden my leg is broken in half at the shin, you know, knock on wood. So I'm going to put the camera away and do the grueling journey over to the true Escudilla summit. Okay, we made it to the top, the actual top. If you want a perfect representation of this mountain, the summit cairn has been crushed by a tree. I mean, I guess it could have been worse. It was not fun and it really tired me out. The view, look, I'm gonna be straight with you. View from here, not much better. Actually, I would say it's worse than the view from the lookout. So if you're not concerned about peak bagging, don't feel like you need to come here to the actual summit. I'd say the only thing you get a little bit of a better view of is the plains out there. There's some cool peak out there that I can just barely see. I guess it's possible that could be Mount Taylor. It seems too far west though. I keep forgetting how far west I am. So I signed the summit register. First one in 2022. Pretty proud of that, but I guess I'd be pretty surprised if I was truly the first person to summit this in 2022, but I guess it's possible. I mean, there were no newer 2022 trip reports on either Peak Bagger, List of John, Summit Post. The mountain's on all trails, but it stops at the lookout. It doesn't go the trail on all trails anyway. It doesn't go all the way to the true summit. So, hey, I mean, I might have just christened this mountain for 2022, which is pretty cool. I love signing the summit registers. I actually have not come across a summit register, even though I've been doing a lot of pretty prominent peaks. I haven't come across one in a while. So I always like when I get to sign one. And it's always cool to me because I read the summit registers, and a lot of times people who I follow have signed them. It's like seeing an autograph by a celebrity, you know. It's kind of a cool experience. You can kind of see here that you can avoid a lot. I mean, not all by all means, but you can avoid a lot of the deadfall by kind of hugging the west side of the ridge. Okay, well, we made it back to the lookout tower, and I have to say the Walenda strategy worked a little bit better on the return trip. Definitely felt like there were more trees angled towards my destination by sticking on the west side and trying to walk on them. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but it wasn't too bad. All right, thanks for joining me on this adventure. Got camp set up, got a fire going. It's a perfect place. There's a snow patch over there to keep the beer warm, and a pretty awesome view of this valley. And then you can't really see it between the trees, but you see Profanity Ridge over there. Anyway, thanks for joining again. See you next time.